Evaluation question 7. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learned in the progression from it to full product? The preliminary task consisted of 3 tasks, us being able to include a 180-degree rule, an action match, and a shot reverse shot. Because this is a short task, I only focused on my camera skills, therefore I did not look at mise-en-scène, genre, titles, or research. I also didn't do any planning or research beforehand, other than just looked at YouTube clips to get an idea around it. The preliminary task is way quicker and more like a draft because it is only 24 seconds long and the quality and lighting isn't that good, just because that is not what I focused on. Even though my preliminary task was really short and without research or planning or mise-en-scène or anything like that, I think it helped me and it was really useful for my actual coursework because I learnt the main stuff, which is the camera work and the camera shots, which is one of the basic things that you need to know in order to make a real film or film opening. Because without that, I wouldn't be able, if I didn't do my preliminary task, I don't think I would be able to be as good of a filmmaker because I wouldn't really know much about camera shots, and even if I did research it on YouTube or on the internet, the preliminary task literally gave me, it was an experience because that's how I learned how to actually do it and how to actually hold a camera steady and how to use Final Cut because we had to edit out for our preliminary task on Final Cut, so that gave me a taste of what it would be like to edit videos on Final Cut because I've never done that before. Now back to my preliminary task. I was saying that I roughly looked at props. The character is wearing a mask, which might give a hint of the genre, making the audience think it could be a horror or a thriller, even though it is not specific, or researched or planned properly. In my actual coursework, I had to look at different props and research about them in depth because that is how we represented our characters to be a certain way, and that is how we addressed our audience and how we represented class and gender and everything. Costumes and props have a really big impact on a film and really affect the way things are represented. We see the 180-degree rule in the conversation between the two characters. The 180-degree rule is a basic guideline regarding to the on-screen relationship between the character and another character. I achieved that by filming a conversation between two characters, and the shot reverse shot happened at the same time. Shot reverse shot is a film technique where one character is shown looking at another character and the other character is looking back at it. Since they're showing facing the opposite directions, the viewer assumes that they are both looking at each other and staring at each other's face. I think that my preliminary task was really useful as it helped me develop my skills, which were used later on for my actual film opening. My knowledge about camera skills and camera work was way wider, therefore I knew what I was doing while I was filming my real media product. Looking back at my, however, there were so many things that we did not learn or do in the preliminary task that we did in the final coursework, such as the making of the soundtrack or the making of the titles on Motion. I had no idea how to make those. That's why we had people helping us, such as our teachers. Like for example, for our media coursework, the soundtrack, we had our music teacher from the music department to help us a little bit, just to get to know how the program works, and then after that we did it on our own, and then we created our own soundtrack. And then for Motion, we had to research and look at videos that showed us how to actually use it because it was really hard to use it, but then we learned how to use it. So I think my skills of using digital and programs have developed a lot. I was a lot more prepared. That is why I had to plan and research beforehand. I learned how to embed videos and make soundtracks and titles professionally and I feel like I've learned a lot more during the actual coursework because I had to include everything. I even had to research about casting and be careful about the aspects of the film opening. Much more digital skills were needed for programs like Motion or Final Cut Pro or Logic Pro. We had way more clips to edit, therefore we took more time to complete the whole coursework. Everyone in my class had a limited amount of time, as this is an AS Media coursework. We only had about 2 to 3 months to film everything and edit everything, including the research and planning with logo and titles. This means that we did not have time or enough time to make our final product as perfect as we could have, because we were running out of time, and the fact that I do 3 other A-levels took a lot of my time away. It was challenging getting everything done in only 3 months because the filming process was quite long, as we had to go and refilm not twice but 3 times. The actor and the actress also had to make adjustments to their own timetables in order to be available for us to act. If we did have more time, I think our final coursework would have been much better and much higher quality than it is. Real production companies have months or years to make a film. That is why they always have the best final product possible, but since we're only students and this is only a 2-minute film opening, we had less time. I have definitely made progress from the preliminary tasks to the actual coursework, and I think my media skills overall developed a lot. And some of the specific examples of the things I learned is, for example, the camera shots. So I never knew about the shot reverse shot or 180-degree rule, and I think it really helped me because we had to include those camera shots in our actual film opening. So we didn't have to research about that. We knew about that already because of our previous preliminary task.
If I did my preliminary task all over again now, I think it would come out a lot more cleaner, and the shot reverse shot, the 180-degree rule, and the action match would be way more perfect than it was in my actual preliminary task I did, because I did that a few months ago, and now after 2 or 3 months of filming, I think I've picked up more. So the fact that our preliminary had to be done on our own and our coursework had to be done in a group or with other people, I think really helped me develop my working skills with a group, because um, we have more ideas and we put more thought into the work, because there are different ideas from different people coming into one final product. So that makes the product a lot better than it would be if only one person made it. I found the preliminary task in a way more difficult because it was only me that was doing it, and that was the first time ever I actually filmed and made a short film. And I think that, thinking back from the preliminary to the actual media film opening, I think my um, skills developed a lot, especially the working skills with a group of people, because I learned how to communicate and how to put different ideas together into one final product and make the best out of it.